Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, always up for a challenge, and this challenge comes from Bobby. Bobby's a longtime channel viewer from Tennessee. He sends me a bunch of reels from time to time. I think he's just trying to get me to admit that some of these just can't be fixed, and that's what he's trying to do with this one. This is a South Bend Oreno. It's the number 60, so it's a Model C, probably not fixable. Well, what's going on? Well, it's not turning. We have a little bit of movement, but not much. And well, let's take it apart and find out why this reel is doing what it's doing. Find out why it's failing, and if it is, quote-unquote, fixable or not. We're going to start by removing the handle. The handle's got a little nut that holds that on. And all you simply should have to do is pull up and out on that. And while I do this, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe to my channel, please use that notification button. That button will let you know when I'm posting videos, and you can see if it's a video you would like to watch. Work on all kinds of reels, of course. This one is an early vintage, probably 1950s fishing reel. And, well, you just never know what's going to show up in my shop. And if you like to play along, that's a wonderful thing to do. Just hit that notification button. It'll tell you what's being posted when. And you can make a decision as to whether that's something that you want to watch or not. All right, we need a micro screwdriver for these screws on the side. When you're working on vintage reels, I always encourage folks to take a lot of pictures, get as much information on them as you can, and well, that'll help you in trying to determine what it should be, and well, if it can be repaired. Vintage reels like these generally are, there's no parts available for them. So if they break, well, they become project reels or parts reels for others to kind of get that second chance. And South Bend is kind of interesting. A lot of the South Bend reels were made by Shakespeare. And sometimes you can find like a side plate screw or something, maybe even a gear, from a Shakespeare reel to fit that. Not sure on this one. With those 4 screws, we should be able to pull out the side plate. We can see it's a pretty straightforward drive. And this is what's going to start our investigation, if you will. We're going to turn the spool, make sure that turns. It does. It's a lot of dry greases. And we'll come over here to that line guide. And that seems to be what's hanging up here. And the question when it hangs up is, well, what's causing the hang up? Could it be dry grease? Can it be a different issue? So let's see if we can, let's see if this one will help me remove the shaft. Oh, it removes, helps me move it over to the side. That's good. What was happening was I was getting blocked by the reel foot here. What I really want to do is take this shield off here and examine the pawl. That's the hold down, and this is pure Shakespeare there. And I think what we got here is we probably got a pawl that's rusted in place. That's, I imagine, what's causing the issue. It doesn't turn. Well, I'm going to see if I can find the pliers here to work this out. If not, what we're going to do is we're going to soak it in some penetrating oil. Yeah, that is really stuck. So how do these get stuck? Well, it's iron on iron and rusted in place. And it's not uncommon, and unfortunately, it kind of will have an effect of just snarling the reel up, which is what it's done. A lot of folks that get a reel like this find themselves in a situation where the reel itself has the line guide removed. I guess that's fairly easy to do. We can probably take this off if we wanted to. I'm going to just try and see if I can't get it through that way. I can. All right. So we want to work on this line guide, see if we can get this pawl out. Just again, I'm just going to be very careful to see if I can break that. I can't. That's solid in place. So I'm going to soak this in some penetrating oil. We'll come back. We'll see if there's something else that can be done. Well, I think Bobby was right. This reel probably can't be repaired because of parts. Well, let's just go over what I've done here. We said that the sticking point was the worm gear on the line guide. I removed the collar and the screw, only to find out that this pawl is frozen into the carrier. And I tried repeated attempts at WD-40 and as a penetrating oil to try and move it. It just doesn't move. Well, why does that happen? It happens because these are two steel parts, and iron on iron will rust. I'm not quite sure what the environment was where this reel was at any time, but chances are it got wet and then it got sat down for quite some time to allow the irons to oxidize and rust together. As I mentioned, some of these are Shakespeare parts. This does have the characteristics of the Shakespeare line guide of the time, and it's possible that Bobby could find a replacement line guide assemble if he likes. Well, how do you give a reel a second chance when a major part is broken? We mentioned early on, I think earlier in the video, that these reels, you can remove the line guide, the worm gear, and the little collar on this side, and you could fish it as a conventional fishing reel. And that's what I've done here, so it's not a total loss. If Bobby or one of his customers wants to fish this, well, go ahead and do it. Now that the line guide is done and out of there, you can see the reel turns free and easy. And of course it's a knuckle buster, so if you go to cast it, it will back track, if you will. But they can still go fishing. So I'm going to return it to him in that condition. It'll be, a project to say the least. It is the Oreno number 60 by South Bend. It can go fishing. It'll have a second chance. And if he finds either another parts reel, or if he finds a Shakespeare with a similar setup from a line guide standpoint, well, he can restore it completely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Some of the fun of working on fishing reels is learning why they break. And sometimes, well, you learn that you can't repair them, but maybe there is an alternative to keep that reel fishing. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. If you want to see more, again, please subscribe. I want to encourage everybody to do just that. I want to thank everybody who watches the channel. I appreciate your viewership, just like I appreciate the efforts day in and day out of our first responders and essential personnel. I want to wish everybody a great days on the water, fast friendships with fishing, and a wonderful time at sea. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.